G'day there, trendsetters. I want to talk about Jayme Louis Liardi again, and how did a college graduate, tree-hugging, vegan, kind of hippie, open-minded person become a neo-Nazi? Because if he can become one, potentially anybody can. And that's a very dangerous thing, because we've had the scourge of Nazism in the 21st century. You can be a Holocaust revisionist all you want, but whether you like it or not, World War II happened, and whether you like it or not, tens of millions of people died as a result of World War II, as a result of fascism in Europe. And then obviously that conflict spread to the Pacific with imperialist Japan. Nazism and fascism are very dangerous, and myself as a Jew, my grandparents from Germany were persecuted as a result of the Nazi regime. My great-grandfather, a World War I veteran, was completely betrayed, and he was forced to leave in the 30s as Hitler came to power. My other ancestors from Poland luckily left in the 20s because of anti-Semitism was so bad. So that was before Hitler's rise, and they came to Australia. I'm lucky to be around. My grandparents would have been targeted by this crazy Nazi regime. And here today we have these neo-Nazis who either are very stupid and then outrightly say that they want to have another Holocaust, or they're quite smart and they become Holocaust deniers and they say, no, the Holocaust never happened. Jews were never exterminated. Why? Because they want to do it again, and they want it to be socially acceptable to be a Nazi. And the way to wash your hands of that is to become a Holocaust denier, and then kind of whitewash the Nazi image, and then it becomes more socially acceptable. One of the difficult things with that is, we all know you're anti-Semites, so you're going to deny the Holocaust and say the Jews were never killed. They came up with it, to get a bit of money, cents in the dollar of the property that they lost and all the lives that they lost. But what else are you denying? Are you denying that all the invalids and handicapped people were euthanized? There was a euthanasia project. Tens of thousands of people were killed in Germany. They had to stop it because the Catholic Church intervened. Are you denying the mistreatment of all the POWs? Are you denying the extermination of gypsies? Are you denying the extermination and wholesale slaughter of the Slavic prisoners and other political prisoners? Are you denying those things? Did those things not happen? Or is it only the Jewish victims of the Holocaust that you want to deny? You got a big problem being a Holocaust denier. And Jayme's a Holocaust denier. Jayme's a neo-Nazi because he subscribes to Michael Walsh. Michael Walsh is a complete imbecile. Michael Walsh is Jayme's mentor. I've engaged with him on YouTube. I question him about social Darwinism and Hitler's belief in it. Basically, that's survival of the fittest, but of nations, of societies. And Hitler completely subscribed to it. It's clear in Mein Kampf. And ultimately, the Nazi empire lasted 12 years, 33 to 45. So on the social Darwin scale, Nazis are nothing. They're a drop in the bucket. Jews have been around for thousands of years. Since 1948, we've had the third Commonwealth back in Israel. Just in Israel is fantastic. I'm a proud Jew. I'm still practicing a Jew. I'm having kids, and we're growing, and we're still around. So how does Judaism stack up against Nazism? I asked Michael Walsh this. He couldn't explain. He didn't even understand the question. He's such a dumbass. He started talking to me about Hitler being a Christian and maybe not believing in Darwinism. What an imbecile. What an absolute imbecile. And that's your mentor, Jayme. So how did Jayme get to Michael Walsh and to becoming a neo-Nazi? How did a college graduate, vegan, become a neo-Nazi? So I got myself a copy. I found a copy on the interweb of Revelation, A Return to Virtue by Jayme Louis Liardi, his book. I had to read his book. Took my valuable time, but I had to understand. how did this happen, because if Jayme can become a Nazi, anybody can become a Nazi. So I think we came to a very interesting point in that book. And he tells his story of actually a degree of trauma. He went through quite a traumatic event, which was basically he had a long-distance relationship during college, somebody he was infatuated with, in love with. She went off on exchange. She lived on one side of America, he lived on another. He decided to surprise her. He came over to the West Coast, I believe it was, to meet his girlfriend who was coming back after this exchange trip for a break. And he was going to surprise her. The mum was in on the plan. Everything was going hunky-dory. He was looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing. He gets there. He meets his Sheila. He meets his love. He meets his lady. And basically she comes and tells him, you know what? I'm not into it. And his heart is crushed. And he's absolutely shattered and broken. And it was in this traumatic experience, in this traumatic event, with his heart completely broken, that basically that left the space for radicalization. And that's an interesting idea that I've heard this in regards to Islamic radicalization, that a lot of people who are radicalized take on extreme viewpoints, standpoints. They've actually dealt with trauma. And in a way, they're going towards this as a channel of healing that trauma. So what precipitated from those events was he left the West Coast to go meet up with his uncle, who he calls in his book his crazy redneck uncle. So he goes to his crazy redneck uncle and he's going on for a drive with him and they're talking. And for whatever point, some serendipity, his uncle says something that triggers in him a memory of a book that he had read called The Alchemist, which itself is quite a superficial book about pursuing your goals and dreams and whatever. It's just a cute little book. And then that triggers in his mind. He has to listen and absorb everything that his great uncle says because it's somehow a sign. So he listens to his quote-unquote redneck uncle who's spouting stuff about a certain group of people who control things. I wonder who that people is. And basically, I think that started the process of his radicalization. He spent a lot of time with his great uncle, and that started the process of him becoming a Michiganer neo-Nazi. Now, I don't understand the alt-right neo-Nazi movement. You want to feel good about pigment or lack thereof, being white. There's nothing special about being white, all right? What's being special is about your cultural background, and as you express that in your thought, speech, and action. Who cares what your skin is? Who cares whether or not you need to put sunscreen on or not? Because being white's not special. What's special, you could argue, is Western values and Western culture. And that's open to anybody, regardless of their racial background or regardless of their ethnic background. You want to come and be a Christian, a Buddhist, a Muslim, or a Jew Westerner? Come embrace that. And let's all build a fantastic society together. Being white, the Tsarnaev brothers who blew up the Boston Marathon were white. What's special about them being white? Like, it's just crazy. I really don't get it. Talk about catering to the lowest common denominator. And I suppose for people who've gone through trauma and for people who are like the dropouts of society, feeling good about themselves on a basis that requires no effort or intention or action is perhaps something desirable. Oh, you were born this way, you're fantastic, and everybody else sucks. I don't really get it. Anyway, so we've got Jayme. Through this trauma, he became a neo-Nazi. And this is a very sad thing because he's a guy who had a lot of potential. But what can we learn from this whole thing? I think the central message here is don't be gullible. I think Jayme is a bit of a gullible guy who likes to dive in headfirst and follow people. And we see that in the fact that he got a vasectomy under the advice of Jurian Ryder. Jayme's still in his 20s. I don't understand why he got a vasectomy so young. It's a pretty full-on decision, all right? Kids are great. Kids are hard, but kids are great. I like to say they ruin your life for the better, or they turn your life upside down, but it's really the right side up. And just for all you neo-Nazis who are watching, my wife and I, please God, thank God we've been blessed with a bunch of kids. We're not stopping. We're paying Hitler back with interest, and we're building a beautiful Jewish family with Jewish values, and they will hopefully build a beautiful Jewish family with Jewish values and help make the world a better place. That's what I'm building. Jayme's not building anything. He's unfortunately had his balls sniffed. And really, he's got a culture of hate, of supremacy. I come and I bring you love. I bring you peace. I bring you words and deeds of goodness and kindness. What ideology is gonna last? What ideology is gonna build? And I'll tell you, let's look at the test of time. Look what the Jews have done. Look what the Jews have built. And look where Nazism's got you. So, Jayme, I think coming back to the gullibility, you got to stop being so gullible. And I want to tell you something. You wrote it in your book, and the answer is in your book. The most honest and insightful person in the book was the cab driver, who said, don't be a slave, basically. He said, don't let other people tell you what to do. You've got to think for yourself. Don't slavishly follow Jurian Ryder. Don't slavishly follow Michael Walsh and your redneck uncle and whoever else you follow. And don't slavishly just follow schmucks. Think for yourself. And The Alchemist, just do and think. Think, all right? Think analytically. And do you really think being a white supremacist Holocaust denier is going to get you more Sheilas. I really don't know what type of quality of Sheilas you're going to deal with. Machinists, probably crazy people. So I think, sadly, and this is a harsh thing to say, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I really can bring myself to be so nice to you, but perhaps the gullibility you've displayed has vindicated the choice of Claire, the Sheila who decided she wasn't that into you. Maybe you weren't good enough for her, because clearly you weren't up to leading yourself. So Jayme, I think it's a bit sad. I think you've got a lot of potential. I think you've really flown off course, but you've got the ability to get back on course. You can adjust the rudder, you can adjust the sail, you can give up on this. And like your previous vegan channel, you can look back at the current channel and the current stuff that you've put on as a mistake. Anyway, if you or your punks want to come and hurt my family or hurt me, you'll regret it. You'll regret it. I'll leave you like a sieve. Anyway, wishing you all the best, and just to all the good people, stay kosher, stay vegan. And by kosher, I don't mean literally kosher. I mean kosher in your viewpoint. Yeah, you got to look and analyze. And for those who are neo-Nazis, repent, and otherwise, whatever, doesn't matter. You know, and that's what I'm getting at. Anybody can repent. Anybody can change their actions. And I'm asking you, change your actions, change your thought, change your speech. You don't have to be a radical douchebag the whole of your life. And hopefully you can look back and go, look, I didn't waste so much. That's up to you. Anyway, see ya.